For decades, an old well behind the town library had been sealed shut. No one dared go near it, and what was inside shocked the entire town. Librarian Mrs. Alden always kept it fenced off, warning kids never to climb the stone wall. Some said it was haunted, others said it had simply run dry. But after Mrs. Alden passed away at 92, the town finally decided to renovate the property. During construction, workers were ordered to dismantle the well stone by stone. As they reached the bottom, one of the crew members noticed something strange. A section of the wall echoed like it was hollow. They carefully chipped away at the old mortar, and beneath it a hidden chamber. When they finally broke through and lowered a flashlight inside, what they saw left the entire crew speechless. The site supervisor dropped his phone and whispered, "Don't touch anything. Call the police." Police arrived within 15 minutes. By then, the construction crew had roped off the area, and word had already begun to spread. A few neighbors stood at a distance, whispering. The officer leaned over the well, shining his flashlight down into the hollow space behind the stones. What they saw was not just dirt, it was something built. An old iron ladder bolted into the stone wall led into the darkness. The officer looked at the crew. "Nobody goes down until we get clearance." But Jordan, the youngest on the crew, couldn't stop thinking about what he saw. He'd noticed something carved into the stone just before they stopped. It looked like letters, a name maybe, but now it was covered again, too dark to make out. The next morning, investigators arrived, archaeologists, a city historian, even someone from the university. They all climbed down into the chamber. The well, it turned out, wasn't a well at all, at least not originally. It was a sealed entrance, and what it led to had been hidden for over 150 years. The team cleared debris and entered what looked like a small underground room. The walls were made of brick, but aged and crumbling. In the center of the space was a small wooden table, and on it, a book. Its leather cover was warped and water damaged, but the first page was still legible. Journal of Elias Alden, 1861. A historian gasped. Mrs. Alden's great-grandfather. They flipped through the pages carefully. Drawings, notes, maps, and then entries, descriptions of meetings, names of townspeople, and warnings. One sentence was underlined several times. "Beneath the town lies what must not be awakened." As the team searched the chamber, they found more journals. Each belonged to someone with the Alden name. It appeared the Alden family had been guarding this chamber for generations. Each caretaker had written down what they knew, what they feared, and what they had to do to keep it sealed. But the journal stopped after night. Nothing else. No explanation why. That same day, the mayor gave permission for a deeper excavation. That's when they found the second door. It was made of blackened iron and sealed with wax that had long since cracked. Carved into the metal were more symbols, none that anyone recognized. And in the center, a small wooden plaque nailed into the frame. "Do not open, ever." The mayor hesitated, but curiosity won. The door was opened. Behind it was a tunnel, narrow, stone-lined. It extended further than their lights could reach. They sent in a small robotic camera. As it rolled forward, the team watched the feed on a monitor. First, just tunnel walls, then bones, scattered, human, and then a door, wooden, cracked, and slightly open. The camera paused. One of the archaeologists said, "This doesn't feel right." But the team pushed forward. The camera creaked through the door and turned. What they saw inside made everyone fall silent. It was a room, but not just any room. The walls were covered in writing, floor to ceiling, the same phrase over and over again. "I hear them, I hear them, I hear them." In the center of the room, a chair, and in the chair, a skeleton, slumped, still bound at the wrists and ankles. Next to it, a mirror, cracked straight down the middle. But when the camera panned past the mirror, the room's temperature dropped. The live feed cut out. The crew retrieved the camera the next morning. It was intact, but the memory card had been wiped clean. No footage. One of the historians, Dr. Elkins, stayed up all night reading the remaining journals. She noticed something strange. The last entry, dated 1924, mentioned a girl, one who had heard the whispers and had to be kept below before the town forgot. The name, Margaret Alden, Mrs. Alden's older sister, a sister she never once spoke about. Later that week, Jordan, the construction worker, returned to the site alone. He wasn't supposed to be there, but he couldn't stop thinking about that carving in the stone. He found the same spot and scraped away the soot. Letters emerged. She never left. Suddenly, the air turned cold. Jordan turned around, and there she stood. A girl, maybe 10 years old, in an old-fashioned dress, pale, expressionless. She stared at him and whispered, "They woke me." Jordan screamed and ran, but when authorities returned, there was no girl, no footprints, nothing, except that the iron door was now sealed again, from the inside. The town declared the site off limits, filled it with concrete, and turned it into a memorial garden. But some nights, especially when the wind howls through the trees, locals say they hear it. Whispers from beneath the ground, and in the library, Mrs. Alden's portrait still hangs by the entrance. Some say if you stare long enough, her eyes shift, toward the garden, because what's buried doesn't always stay buried, and what's sealed was sealed for a reason.